1976, my vote for president was cast for a Southern governor with a U.S. senator for a running mate. Back then, my father and I were working our family farm near Paint Creek in the rolling plains of West Texas. We were confident that Jimmy Carter would use his presidency to help the American farmer sell more and prosper more. We were dead wrong. During the Carter administration, America suffered through double-digit inflation, record unemployment, astronomical interest rates, and a grain embargo that left our crops rotting in the field and our Olympic athletes stranded at home. It was a time that America's farmers and ranchers do not want to relive. That's why we will reject the Democrats' offer to return America to the devastating economic and agricultural policies of the 1970s. That's why we're sending George Bush back to the White House, back to Washington for 4 more years. Did you notice during the Democrats' convention in New York, not a single speaker spoke for agriculture? That Bill Clinton and Al Gore didn't even bother to show up at their convention's agricultural dinner. That in the entire Democratic Party platform, only 16 lines even mention American agriculture. Folks, I joined the Republican Party because I learned that the Democratic Party couldn't even be trusted to run the state of Texas, much less this nation. That time, I was dead right. Under the leadership of President Bush, farm income has risen 32% nationally, a record high, and farm debt has fallen $55 billion. President Bush has reduced the burdensome regulation that impedes the economic growth of agriculture, saving the American farmer $1 billion. And he's restored the farmer's right to decide which crops he or she want to plant. President Bush's vision for American agriculture is focused on his effort to remedy declining prices and overproduction by opening vast new markets. He sees tremendous opportunities in new industrial products extracted from renewable agricultural sources. The President's commitment to developing these new products will provide new opportunities to our rural communities. The possibilities for new investment and new jobs are endless. You know, Democrats tell us that American agriculture is in the ditch. They're just wrong. Our industry is not in a state of decline. We're in a state of change, tremendous change, that looks beyond next year's crops to next year's markets. Only 10 miles from here, the Port of Houston is bustling with activity. From there, U.S. exports will stay and start their journey to the consumers around the world. George Bush and Dan Quayle know full well that the road to opportunity for American agriculture rests on the pillars of free and fair trade. Under their resolute leadership, the United States has successfully negotiated the North American Free Trade Agreement, an agreement which creates, with our neighbors to the south, a $6 trillion market of 360 million consumers. You know, in the last 6 years, our agricultural exports to Mexico alone have more than doubled to $2.9 billion. Now, under the free trade agreement, American agricultural exports may increase by as much as another $2 billion. George Bush and Dan Quayle understand that trade wars kill jobs. Free trade creates jobs. You know, working the soil to produce the bounty that graces our tables has been my family's vocation for generations. We farmed that land around Paint Creek since my great-great-grandfather settled the clay-filled creek bottoms that my own children, Sidney and Griffin, now play in. just as I have grown up alongside agriculture. It's part of our spirit. It's part of the sense that with God's blessing, anything is possible. Even coaxing a wheat crop from a pound of seed in the dry lands of the West. That is the vision of the stern-burnt men and women who raise the crops and tend the livestock. It's the vision we share with George Bush. Farming's a hard life, but it's a good life. I want my children to have the same opportunity I had to live off the land and make an honest profit from their labors. And that's why I won't be bothering to vote for another Southern governor for president again. I'll cast my vote instead for the two men who have the vision and the resolve to keep our flow of commerce healthy, to maintain our competitive edge in an ever-expanding market, and to create new jobs for hard-working people. I'll vote to keep George Bush and Dan Quayle in the White House working for us in America. God bless you.